How you doing, pioneers? This is MJKK 613.14. Back at you one more time. Pi, unofficial, through my eyes, the way I view and see things, and put things together. I'm gonna make this a part 4 of mindset, of how I see mindset, in Pi. And the only reason I'm going one more is something that came up early today in chat that caught wind of or part of. It's about somebody was asking about Tesla Pi phone. You know, is it part of us? Is it part of this? So as Pi, I'm going. It's new as Pi. I'm going to check it out, research and see where it's going on. Well, I got onto a site called Golf News that did an article or did a write up, did a piece on Tesla Pi phone. And apparently, Tesla is getting into the communication end of things for his goal, his reasoning, his purpose. And when I first when I first got into the piece, the logo that they're using is different than the logo used on this project. And it was brought up. I mean, a couple of things were brought up. This one is mine for me. How can he use Pi, or why did he choose Pi? Why did Core choose Pi? Okay. Number one, Pi is a mathematical constant that belongs to everyone. It can't be copywritten. And it's open and free for anybody to use anywhere, anytime. And people have tried to copyright Pi over the years, and there's no way that they've been shot down every time, because Pi is a mathematical constant, mathematical part of mathematical equation. It's used to figure the ratios of curves and circles. It can be used to figure the ratios between curves and circles, and it'll work on any of them. I mean, it's universal. Now, logos that we come up with, color designs, that kind of stuff, digital art with Pi that you've created can be copywritten, because it's yours. It's something you came up with, you designed, you did. That can be copywritten. But as far as Pi, as Pi, it can't. And I think it's a coincidence that Core and Tesla chose Pi as the symbol of the project, because there's also a lot of meaning to the symbol of the project. Pi it doesn't repeat. I mean, it's a universal constant, doesn't repeat, and they have not found the end of it, so it goes forever. Well, that's big symbolism if you keep it in context with what the projects are doing. Pi is Pi pioneers. We are pioneers in what's happening right now. Yeah, there are pioneers in all fields of study, all, science, medicine. When a pioneer represents blazing new paths, going new directions, going into the unknown, discovering the unknown, making the unknown happen. Well, Pi, and this is where Pi is charting new territory. We are blazing our own path into the crypto space. Everything else, pretty much everything else out there, has followed the models before it. Stellar, Ripple have different protocols, doing different things, targeting different areas, blaze their own way into the path. I mean, they came into the space in their own way because of what they are, what their goal is. Yeah. Because they're not competing with Bitcoin or looking to be a form of payment for goods and services at that time. Now, don't several people don't get on me right now, because both of them are the best of what's out there today. They are. They're the best protocol at creating blockchain that is available today, that I am aware of. Now, there may be others coming up that are faster, more efficient, more whatever. But when Core chose Stellar to be the foundation of Pi, it was the best choice, best option, best of what was out at the time to use as a foundation to build Pi. Well, Tesla, he's blazing new territory to Mars. He wants to colonize Mars within X amount of years. And that got me thinking about making this number 4, because before I really realized that he's creating his own coin, Mars coin, my first thought was, what if somehow we were to partner with Tesla in this area, and they take Pi to Mars and use Pi as their form of currency on Mars? And then I read farther in the article, and they're either in the works or, they're creating their own. He's creating his own Mars coin. Now, whether it's to be used down here until they go to Mars, or whether it's to be used on Mars, I don't know. But it opened up possibilities. It opened up a different way of thinking of things. Mindset is how you view things, how you look at things, and being pioneers means it's going to be new, it's going to be different, it's going to be on Mars. I'm associating it with Mars. Well, what led me to think of something different was that applied to Pi is, let's say they go to Mars and they colonize it. Well, they're already thinking about a form of money to be used on Mars, which led me to believe or think, if that be the case, when they get to Mars, are they going to model it after what we use here on Earth today? My guess is probably not, because we all know the system's broken, and he's going into digital currency. He's going into digital currency, cryptocurrency, and digital currency. The terminology is going to change real quick over time, and everything it'll either be cryptocurrency or it'll be digital currency. The government doesn't call their digital money cryptocurrency, and they call it digital currency. Well, it's not on a blockchain, it's not whatever. I bet you they will be running on a blockchain. Yeah, that's what it's all about. Running, now this digital. They will probably incorporate blockchain technology into parts of it, some of it, yeah. But it's easier to get the information they're looking for if they're running on blockchain, and if they put the regulations in place, and but that's part of whatever we got going on. Which leads me to believe, or kind of indicate, cryptocurrency, and the way I see it, cryptocurrency is only half the picture of the bigger picture. It's only half the picture of the bigger picture, because there's half missing out of cryptocurrency. Mm-hmm. How you view it and how you see it. Most won't, because they're locked into what is today. And there's been 10 years of hype and 10 years of seeing, massive fortunes being made, but they don't tell you the losses. that occur too. Massive, there's been massive wealth that has been lost overnight because it got mistimed. They mistimed their thing, and I forget. Yeah, it's been quite a few, but very seldom do you hear about big losses or losses at all. It's all up. Everybody's all making all. No, there's a lot of people that lost money in the same area. Anyway, because most cryptos don't have use case or utility behind them, with them. Yes, they are trading in some places, and some places are accepting it, in some places. And there's a list that shows places that are accepting it, what they're accepting, whatever. But that list changes every day. You have people that are accepting it that stop accepting it and get off the list. And you have new people coming in to get on the list that will accept it. Well, there's a reason why hype gets you on the list, reality gets you off the list. Crypto is a hard asset to use as a form of money. It's too unstable. It's too volatile. There's too many changes and it takes too long to process. It's not a viable form of a currency. Yes, you hear all, store value and da. Right. I don't want to get into that. Maybe I'll do that on another video. Okay. You believe what you want to believe. You believe what you want to believe. Me as an outsider looking in sees it different. Same with Pi. Now, me learning Pi, understanding Pi, knowing what Pi Gold is, what it's going, how it's built, how it's designed, what's happening, why it's happening, I see Pi different. You're coming in from outside. You're seeing Pi. You're not seeing Pi. You're bringing what you know from the outside to inside, and trying to impose or force what you know or what you think you know. I mean, what you know about crypto. I don't want to take any of that away because you've learned it. You know it. You've earned it, and I respect you in that field. In your coin, I respect you. Whatever coin you're trading in, I respect you in that coin. I do. Because you know that. You know the system. You know the ins and outs. And you know what's going on with that coin. You know. You know it. You've learned it. You've helped create what it does on the exchange. I respect that. Where respect stops is at the door of Pi. Because the amount of time that you've taken to learn what you know in cryptocurrency, you haven't spent a quarter of the time to learn Pi. You come in with pre-expectation, pre-notion, and then you try to sell that to people in Pi. Well, if the roles were reversed, and I came into some cryptocurrency, and I started talking Pi philosophy, Pi foundation, Pi model, Pi blockchain, in another cryptocurrency, I would get run off. I would get run off with a stick and having rocks thrown me on the way out. Yeah, they would chase my ass off. And I think I've said that before. Well, why is that? Why is that? Because I don't know. I would hear it. Because I don't know the space. I don't know how it works. I don't know what it does, and I don't know. Okay. Yes, I know how the space works. But I wouldn't bring apples into oranges or oranges into apples, okay? Because they're different. You have to view them different. You have to strategize about them different. Because they're not built the same. They're not designed the same. They're really not targeting, some of them are targeting the same. But Pi's not looking to challenge anything, not looking to knock anything off of anybody, not trying to best anybody, it really doesn't care. It doesn't need to. Now, if you're doing it to try to keep Pi out of the space, that's a different issue. Pi will find its way into the space. Pi is going to make its own space in the space. Yeah, because it's got more going for it than what's out today. And it's got the other half of the needed picture. Because what the cryptos that are out today have minimal use case. Out of the overall scheme of things, 1% or 2% or 5% or 6% is not that big out of the overall picture. And we're talking not a single coin. We're talking the whole crypto space is only like 5%, 5 or 6% of the overall market. That's all of the coins out there. And I just saw somebody talking about in the last year, I think they said 2,000 cryptocurrency, or 2,000 crypto coins that have come out on the market, have launched out on the market. 2,000 in a year. And I know that plays into, well, how come it's taking Core so long to launch Pi? Because you don't know Pi. You haven't, because all of those 2,000 coins that have come out most likely followed the model that's already out. You've already made money off of those pump and dump coins. And how long some of those coins will survive is questionable. I mean, who knows? Most of them don't survive. Okay? Now, I'm not up on all of the 2,000 that came out, and I don't know what blockchain or what they're using, okay? But, I mean, you're not really seeing a lot, you're not hearing a lot, but I'm sure they've all pump and dumped. Anything that is running an ICO is pump and dump. Without a doubt. That's how it's set up. Pi has no ICO plans, no IEO plan, no airdrop plan, no, okay, because we are already distributing the coins. Through being early in development and simulating being a Pi miner, of course I said that, is distributing Pi in a big enough quantity with a far enough reach that when it does launch mainnet, we can already use it as a form of payment. We can use it as currency. Close to 30, we got to be close to 30 million people. I know we're not over because the Core hasn't announced it, but we have to be close to 30 million people. In 236 countries around the world, the last official posting. 30 million people in 236 countries. Just average it out. I mean, yeah, China, I don't know. I know China, United States, I think Britain was maybe 4th or 5th. France was up there at the top. There was okay, but average it out. 30 million to 236. Stretched around the world. Seamless, borderless, peer-to-peer. Okay? As far as I know, there's no other coin out there like that. None. There's no other coin that has built a community while it's still in development. And people don't understand. How come it's taking so long? How come it's doing it? Because you haven't learned Pi mindset. Because you're already strategizing on what you're going to do when Pi launches. You're ready for Pi to launch, and you're ready to buy or you're ready to sell. You're whatever. You've made the decision that I'll just wait till it hits the exchange and I'll buy as much as I can on the exchange, and I'll be. Well, that's one mindset of the space today. That's pretty much the mindset of the space today. You haven't taken the time to learn Pi. So, I hope you have more than one strategy run around or in your back pocket. I would make sure you have 1 or 2 or 3 different strategies from different areas, different angles, different scenarios of what might happen. That's also part of mindset. I know they're not, anybody that is in the space, made money in space, traded in the space, and doing it is like it's a full-time deal, has not even considered any other strategies or options. Okay? mindset. Okay. I'm all pie. I mean, if you know me and you've watched my videos and you've seen me in chat, you know I'm all pie. But I have I have a pump and dump strategy, but it's in my back pocket. It's in a drawer. But I have it as an alternative because if it goes that way, I'm going to go that way. Because if pie goes that way, there's no stopping it. If pie is forced that way, the majority will be too big. We can't stop it. It won't be able to stop. No. There won't be enough of us to buy enough coin to get it back in house to reverse the damage it's already done. Yeah. It's mindset. It's mine. Because when you know pi and you understand what pi is and you know what pi is going to do. Because now, why I say put 2 or 3 different scenarios in your back pocket is I'm sure most that know the space, are in the space, even ones that are just learning the space and whatever, are already thinking of mass launch of pi. That quarter going to all of a sudden flip on the light switch and go, we're phase 3, do what you want to do, run loose. Not gonna. I don't believe that's going to happen. Yes, I have a scenario if it does happen. Yeah, I have more than one plan in my back. I tell people to have more than one plan. I have more than one plan in my back pocket. I know where my initial is, but if it don't work, I'm ready to slide any direction it goes. I'm ready to slide with it. Even though I'm behind the way pi should go. But I've taken the time to learn pi, to understand pi is looking to be a currency. Well, if you start connecting the dots, if we're 30 million people still in beta, and we reach 236 countries around the world, and it's being distributed enough in a large enough quantity to be a currency, to be the money. Yes, the bigger pi gets, the broader its base gets, the less pi more people have. Yes, as pioneers come in every day, they have less than the person that did yesterday. And closer we get to phase 3, the bigger we get, the less they're going to have. I mean, I don't know what the average pi balance is. I mean, I've heard numbers and I've heard, okay, but I don't know. I mean, I believe it will be under the pi average. Well, let me back that up. Because I don't like what controls value. I don't want to put a number on, because we're going to have millions of people that have less than, 500 pi, less than 200 pi. The majority of people. Because closer we get to phase 3, the wider that base is going to get, the less those people are going to have pi. The less those pioneers are going to have pi. So, everybody looks at whales' influence and all. Okay. The pioneers, the whales with large amounts of pi, is minimal compared to the overall community, the way things have out. Yeah. There's some big whales in here. You usually won't see them or you won't even know who they are or whatever, because they don't talk about it. They don't, they don't come in, I got X my back. No. They're off doing their thing, man. But there are some big whales. But also, whales have their own mentality from the space. And it's been talked about, whales, when pi hits the market and goes to the exchange, whales are going to come in and they're going to gobble up all the little minnows and grab up as much pi as they can. Okay? And that is a possibility because of the mindset in the space today. That's the strategy that they're behind. And they're trying hard to convince the minnows, what they were called today, convince the minnows that that's the way it's going to be. And if they can convince them, to sell their pie at whatever. They're there to buy it up. Yeah. And if pie goes out, I'll be there to buy it up. Yeah, because it's already too late. It's already too late. That's my opinion. But if you know pie, you'd understand. Yeah. Because if pie starts below a certain value, pie doesn't have a chance in hell. Doesn't. That's not opinion. That's fact. That's fact. Because if pie starts below a certain value, you will cut off at least a third, maybe half the community from being able to use pie. And if a third or half of the community can't use pie has no chance of recovery. Doesn't. Because there's too much. It's stretched out too far. There's too many people. Yeah. Yeah. Put on a life preserver. Because this ship is going down, man. I'll sign off on that one. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. That is different thinking than what's out there today. Because it's controlled by what's out there today. The formula that coins coming out today use is already calculated. I mean, they've already... So, pump and dump works for that. Yeah. Because everybody knows it's going to start there. There's few coins, few people compared to pie. So, when people are talking it's going to take 3 to 5 years for pie to reach any significant value. No, they're talking about significant price. Pie can have a significant value for pie right from jump. Right from jump. Yeah. But people aren't learning pie, understanding pie, realizing what pie is. Not understanding or realizing the power, the influence that 30 million people can have. Yeah. Because, out of the 30 million people, there are probably little groups of, 1,000, 10,000, whatever, 100,000, whatever, in certain areas or certain other social medias doing other things that benefiting pie. Yeah, they might be unofficial and all whatever it is. But they're still happening. They're still moving forward. But out of the majority, they're already thinking how the market works. Because they haven't taken the time to learn pie. Or understand pie. See pie for pie. Yeah, I know. There's a while. Then, yeah. Because just thinking about Tesla, man, and his views and goals and what he's got going on. I bet you his coin isn't designed after current models. I would almost venture to guess. And I'd almost venture to guess it's probably where it would be worth getting involved in. But I haven't researched, so I don't know, and I'm not I'm not promoting it, but just what little I do know about him as a person. His drive, his goals, okay? He's a maverick. He is a maverick. And mavericks sometimes are good at the back. Anyway, because there are different ways. And like I say, what's sad about pie or hard, okay? Because pie with 30 million people, I would say the majority of them, probably this is their first introduction into crypto. It's their first time dealing with crypto. I mean, you can see it on, just on how things are operating, whatever, some of the things that happened over the time. They just got, can't say anything else but a clusterfuck. It was a nightmare. It's been a nightmare, And when it happens in droves, mass, it's nuts. Okay? But they've bought into this side. Because that's what they can see. That's what everybody can see. That's what they know. And then you have people here that know the space selling it, that this is what it's going to be. And what don't realize is these people already know what the value will end up or where it'll end up, whether it's in crypto here or what they know from Pi. Because they also know Pi. And they know if they can convince people to dump on the initial like everything else has, they can come in and swoop up your profit, your earnings. Because they're not thinking about what they take. They're not thinking about who they take it from. All they do is want. They just want it. They don't care who has it or how, okay? To make your profit, your income, your benefit, your reward, your what, put whatever terminology. Yeah. And to break that mindset is tough. When you're in a belief, it's tough. And if you can't deal with both sides of the debate at one time inside yourself, I don't think you'll ever open up and see. I really don't. You have to be able to debate both sides of the argument within yourself and do it equally. That's how you get an understanding. Because by doing it that way, you see both sides of the picture. You see both sides of the argument, both sides of the story, both sides of. And then you can make an informative decision. You can change the way you think. Okay? If you're not open to learning, and if you're not willing to keep learning, keep an open mind to learning, then you get into, this is the only way it is, this mindset, this is the only thing you can do. When that's not true. The world is always evolving, always changing. It changes on a daily basis. Today isn't the same as yesterday, and tomorrow won't be the same as today. And what tomorrow brings, who knows? Who knows whether you're going to wake up in the morning? And whatever, who knows you're going to wake up? Okay? So, yeah, you have to be open. You have to be able to see. That's all it is. And when I research like Tesla today and whatever, I see what was going on, but then I try to equate it. I mean, it wasn't hard to equate what he had going on, what he's got going on, to the project, to this project, our project. It was, yeah, and going to Mars, setting up a new currency on Mars, I think is what did it for me. Because if the people in Pi, if we just all step up, float there, and go to a different planet and deal with Pi. Get Pi rolling, doing what it's supposed to do. Because being outside of what's influencing things today puts a different perspective on things. And if you're a fortunate one to be able to separate that here with all the stuff going on, yeah, that's a major skill. That's a major, yeah. Because a lot of times, and what's happened is it's filtered. It's being seen through clouded glasses. It's being filtered. The information is being filtered with what people already know. And they're not willing to come up off of what they already know because they've taken time to learn. They've probably gone through some growing pains. They've probably lost some money. They've probably went through the learning curve on what they have learned. Well, to go back through that again, no, it's a crypto. It's a crypto. I already know what it's going to do. I don't have to go back and relearn. Well, it hurts to go back and relearn, to go through the learning curve, to be, yeah, I'm wrong. I'm off the mark. I'm not as an expert as I thought I was here. Ego, pride, selfishness, greed. I mean, it all plays into stopping us from learning other stuff. Nowhere in Pi has it ever said that we can't be involved in more than one thing. Well, and I know most people that are in the space are involved in more than one thing. Some make it, some don't, some whatever. But they all act and do the same thing, so there's not a big difference. There's not a big it's, yeah, a little tweak here and a little tweak there. But it's not a major difference. Pi, on the other hand, is a major difference. Major difference. And you have people coming in, when I'm going to shut this down here in a minute. Tonight, in Senior Pi Chat. Yes, and I probably was coming across. Yeah, they're probably not down my mind. I was coming across arrogant and like a know-it-all. It was a conversation I was in. And it was about opinions. And everybody is entitled to their opinion. Everybody is entitled. You're entitled to your opinion. Okay? That's one of our freedoms. That's one of our rights. Right to free speech. Right to post free speech. Okay? And where I was having trouble with this was, and I don't want to, there were a couple of times that they put out they were in this field for 20 years. I've been in this field for 20 years. Oh, well, okay, so what? Well, that tells me either you're insecure of what you've done for 20 years, or you think you're better because you've been in this field for 20 years. That's what it tells me. Well, I have 60 years worth of life experience. Okay, so what? But the conversation was going, and when people come in and they're talking crypto and voicing their opinion about crypto, as much as you have the right to voice your opinion about what you think you know, I have the right to voice mine and challenge your opinion if I disagree with it. That's my right. Whether you like it or not, that's not on me, that's on you. If you don't like what I'm challenging, what your position is, if you don't like me challenging your position, then support your position. Prove me wrong. You're the one that put the opinion out. You're the one that opened it up to it. I can support my end. I don't go into battle without knowing what I'm going up against, or having the ammunition that I need, or the defenses that I need to support my position. Yes, I'm not right all the time. Yeah, and like I say, I mean, if you watch my video, you know I got called just a little while back. But yes, I see where I was wrong. But it didn't change my opinion. It didn't change what I was putting out. It didn't change the fact of what it was. Yes, putting out bad information. But the bottom line was it didn't change the fact. Okay. When people are voicing opinion that, and what I know I get, when I get defensive and I get worked up and whatever, I do. I will be. I come across as, because it's not that you're challenging me. Part of it, yeah. But you're not hearing and you're not listening, and I know you haven't read anything, because the position you have doesn't fit. And that was what the whole thing was. And it was like, I don't know whether they thought by calling me names or telling me I'm arrogant and telling me, that it doesn't look good on me that, I'm a know-it-all and whatever, okay? This is who I am. If you put out an opinion, I have the right to challenge. If I put out an opinion, you have the right to challenge. maybe we can come to an agreement and both of us can learn a little bit. Because I was brought up in a different age, different time, different society, different mindset, different outlook. Politically correct doesn't mean shit to me. No. Now I try to live in it and respect who where I'm interacting with and stuff like that. But words. Besides, I've had like a couple ex-wives and ex-girlfriends and stuff. Isn't anybody here to hold a candle to them? Yeah, no. So, but see, people have become so thin-skinned that if they put out an opinion and you don't agree with it, and you challenge it and they can't support it, they get unhappy. Well, and I know I'm getting off and I'm ranting on this one a little bit, but it comes down to they're willing to put out an opinion on Pi's going to be this value. Pi's going to do, it's not even a question. When people ask questions, yeah, not bad. If you're asking a question, it means you're open to hearing something else. But when you're coming in and saying Pi is going to, and the next thing out of your mouth is not what Pi is going to do, I can't sit back and let that go by. Because when that happens, people don't realize what they're saying. I mean, the power of the words they're saying. Because most new pioneers, most new people coming into either crypto or Pi it's bad when they're coming into crypto and Pi. And it's easier to find bad information. I mean, it's correct information for the space, for this coin, for this, okay? When you come in talking Bitcoin, you come in talking Ethereum, you don't have to put a name or a label on it. Just by what you're talking, you can tell it's one of these coins. Because the strategy, the philosophy, the mindset, the whatever, is focused on this. And it doesn't, no matter what project you're in. Because there are diehard whatever coin. There are diehard whatever coin. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Stellar, Ripple. People that have been in at the foundation have helped get it through the process that we're going through with Pi now. They've been through with these other projects. So they're real defensive of those projects. They are diehard, whatever project it is. And this is where I think I put this out. Okay, they are diehard. They are, and they will defend it any way they can. And they will not let down until they've whooped your ass. They beat you down to nothing. They won't let go. And I've been there. And when they come in and do that with Pi, I won't let go. Because they're using information stored from the project they've been involved in. Now, I'm not saying that I have always been right in all the areas. I have been shown a lot of different stuff. Come to understand a lot of different stuff. From technically where they're at, they know how to find certain stuff. You can get into it, see certain stuff that I've never went to look for. I mean, now I'm kind of regretting it because I've sort of had it. But I really don't. Because at the end of the day, what Pi is trying to accomplish, where Pi is trying to get, I don't need to know all that. I don't. I don't need to know how to program. I don't need to know what the technical end is behind Pi. I just need to know that Pi is going to do what it's going to do, and I can use what I can see. That's most of what pioneers are here. Most people, they don't care about the technical. They want to know they can have a wallet, they can push a button, and they can buy and sell Pi. Now, that needs to be as easy as it can be up front. Because if it's not as easy as it can be, it'll be jacked up. But from technical side, program side, whatever, they need different information. They need to know what it is. They need to know. They need to know why, and they need to know. Okay, part of it is because they want to get in and mess with it. Okay? Anybody pushing for open source now, that's all they want to do is they want to get in and mess with the program. They want to get in and do Core's job because they think they can do it better than Core. That's because I've dealt with them. And like going back to tonight, when you're coming in, asking a question is a whole different. You get a whole different attitude. You get a whole different response because you're open to learning what might be different. Even though you maybe die or whatever, you're willing to learn something new. But when you come in and saying that, you can't. That because you're coming into a new project, demanding it to do this, or it's going to do that, or it's going to do that. It should, no, not even should. It will do. Okay, when you come in talking like that, no. I'll try to run you off with a stick and throw rocks at you. Yeah, and I know it doesn't come across good. It doesn't come across professional. It doesn't come across, okay? Boo. Because if you can debate both sides of the argument, if I were to go what I know about Pi, and if I were to take like the information that I know about Pi, and I were to go into another project starting up, old project has been running, and I went in and I started talking Pi and Pi philosophy and what Pi's doing, and this one should do the same, this one should do the same as Pi, and this one should be doing da-da-da-da-da. Pi community is one of the mellower communities out there. Yeah. As far as how people interact with each other and how people deal with each other. Even when people go off on ransomware. You go into any other crypto community and talk outside of what's going on in that community, you don't stand a chance. You don't stand a chance. Because, yes, it's kind of like siblings. Siblings start fighting. You go in to break them up. They'll both turn on you. They'll whoop your ass, and then they'll go back to fighting. I mean, that's part of how I grew up. I mean, we'd be knocked down, drag out between each other, but don't get between us. Because we are still blood. You're not getting to run you off, and we'll go back to what we were doing. That's how communities are. You go in talking outside of where they're at. It's not pretty. It's not nice. It's not okay. So I don't know what makes Pi so different in some areas, and then not so different. It's a strange dynamic. Crypto is a strange space. People in crypto is a strange dynamic. Yeah. So, I know I've probably gone off a little bit and whatever it is, but it just made me start thinking. And then as the day went on and whatever it is, but it's about mindset. It's about how you view, how you look at. If you come in taking the experience that you come in and take that experience, and I want to say applied, but I don't know whether apply is the right word. You can separate this one and this one, and you can find out if there's anything that works for this one and apply to this, and you can find new stuff in here and whatever it is. Okay, and we come to kind of a mutual understanding. I've had long discussions with people that wanted to learn, wanted to know, and it wasn't a knockdown, drag out battle. It was, they're asking questions, I'm giving that, and I'm not saying I know, but they knew less than I did. So I was just sharing what I had. Like I say, because I want to make new pioneers lifetime pioneers. And we're all advancing together. We're all learning together. We're all learning. But then I've also had people that came in with preset that were willing to accept new. Now, it may have been a little bit of a struggle or a little bit of a debating back and forth or whatever. But by the time we got done, we had a different respect for each other because they could start to see. They could start to see what pi was. And then, I thought, and then I come up again, and yeah, you know. And then there are those that are just diehards, And there's nothing, okay, because at that point, they know what they know, and they've learned what they've learned, and they know how to do it, and they know it. They know it. They don't know pi. And to open that up to get them to see pi, okay, some do, some don't. And, okay, but it's about how we view things, how we mindset, And once you see pi, and once you see the possibility of pi, where it's going to go, then you get to see how value is set, what pi needs, what we need to do for pi, not what we think pi needs. We get to see what pi needs, and then we get to move forward. And right now, the community is still split. It is. And that's what I get afraid of, because we're getting too close. We're getting too close to being ready to launch mainnet, and the community is still divided. That's what kind of gets me. And then when you have people coming in like tonight, it just, that's kind of sort of irritating, because they're new. I know they got to be 90 days. They're probably new 90, because I've never seen them in chat before. I've never seen them in newbie chat, Pioneer English, China, okay? And I've never seen them in senior chat. Now, they could be old pioneers that are just getting reacquainted or whatever, but that puts them still back in the same category. So, it's going to take all of us to pull this off and make it happen. And it's going to take all of us thinking, believing, trusting, going in the same direction. Being on the same page and knowing why we're on the same page. I don't even know if it's knowing why we're doing it this way. Some people, I just wish they'd just go with it and just go with the flow. And there are probably quite a few like that. But we shouldn't still be having these conversations 50 days away from mainnet launch. That's what gives me the most. People don't realize how close we are. I don't think. Some, not all. I throw out general. But the ones that know what's happening, what time of day it is, what pi needs, working for what pi needs, helping new pioneers get started and understand pi. Hopefully they know that's not who my target is. I throw it out general because you start singling out. So I just broadcast it. And that's also part of politically correct and hurting people's feelings and hurting, okay? If I throw something out general and it doesn't apply to you, don't take it. I've seen more people get butthurt over, not just from me, other people, throwing out a general statement that wasn't targeted at them, but they're the ones that get butthurt. Well, I don't do that. Well, if it don't, then don't take what's being thrown out, because it's not directed at you. I know, it's a different area, different subject, different, but it all plays into where pi is at today. It all plays into mindset of, because, and yes, I apologized, made amends, and whatever, on my attitude a while back. When I did. I got flat upset. I'm not pussyfooting around anymore. I'm going to call a spade, and I'm going to call it the way it is, and I'm going to challenge whatever, because it's time to stop that. Having that attitude, that was wrong. Yeah, it was wrong. Anyway, it wasn't right. I'm not going to say it was wrong. It wasn't the right way to approach or to deal with stuff. How's that? I can live with that. Okay. Will it happen again? I don't know. It might. Okay. But I know it's not the correct way to handle the situation. I know it's not the correct way to be professional. But somewhere you got, I feel, and it's how I was raised, how I was brought up, how my life experience, somewhere you have to draw a line in the sand. Okay? And the more real estate you give up, the harder it is to get that real estate back. That's what scares me about mainnet launch and the community. Because if the community gives up value, gives up real estate, gives up and starts, if it's, like I say, if it starts below a certain amount, Pi doesn't have a chance. It will never recover. It's too late. It will never recover. It can't. There's no way possible starting that low. He's cut too many people out of the community. Too many people are cut out of the community, most likely they will leave. Well, there'll be abandoned accounts, and it'll be chaos or nightmare or whatever. Yeah, you think we're going to lose people on mainnet launch? You start too low. I mean, if the price starts too low, which will equate to value, people can't buy stuff. People can't buy stuff. They may not even be able to trade on exchange if that's where it goes, because they probably don't have enough Pi to do it. There are minimums on the exchange, and if you only have 1 or 2 Pi, you have less than probably 1,000 Pi, you probably won't be able to trade on the exchange. Not if it opens the way people are talking. You don't have enough Pi to trade on the exchange. It'll cost you more in fees to trade on the exchange. Well, exchanges don't charge fees. Yeah, they do. And you're going to have to re-KYC with the exchange. Every exchange you sign up with, most likely you have to KYC. Yeah. And you'll have to create another wallet because it's going to have to go somewhere else to go in. And Pi Wallet doesn't accept cash. So if you're selling for fake, it's got to go into another wallet or your bank account or whatever. Most people don't know how to trade on the exchanges. Yeah. Yeah. Some people just have to learn by hard knocks. So, anyway, I don't know. I don't know. But I do want to say thank you for everybody that's watched videos. I hope you've gotten something out of it, or a different way of thinking, or even just a big laugh or whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm here to inform, I'm here to entertain, I'm here to whatever it happens to be, whatever it needs at this point in time. But I hope learning about Pi, understanding the differences, or starting to understand, or at least researching on your own. Sorting out correct information, not misinformation. You're just sorting out the information. What goes in what pile, and what goes in, because there's a lot of misinformation, incorrect information, false information, wrong information, probably pretty much on everything that's out there. It's our responsibility to sift through it. Does it apply? Yes. Does it apply? No. Does it apply? Yes. Does it apply? Yes. Does it apply? And find out, because it's different. When it's different, you got to see the difference. You may not have to understand why initially. As long as you see the difference, you can figure out the why. At least for me, anyway. So, I want to say thank you for everybody that's watched the videos, and like I said, I hope you're getting something out. I appreciate everybody that's subscribed. You're getting something out and you think it's cool, pass it on. If not sweat it. So, be safe, joy, keep mining. We're almost there. Think for yourself. I'm out.